Hello, when creating a tutorial video, there's probably times that you would like to actually have maybe a video of yourself in the corner using your webcam. And how is it that you'd go about doing this? You could do this for whatever you'd be screencasting, whether that's slides or just running through a web page. There's lots of options for what. To keep things simple, I'm actually not going to do this using a PowerPoint. The issue being that typically, especially in a one-screen configuration, the presentation window you want to select you can't on screen. So I've just for better or worse chosen. I've got a web browser open, and I guess I'll just create a little video in a moment that walks someone through how they would use Wikipedia on a browser. And I've also got my text editor notepad open just so that we can type in there. I just wanted to create an example where the video that we're about to make incorporates two windows. You certainly don't have to do that. You could just incorporate one, but I just wanted to point out that this is possible. So very likely you're going to want to include some kind of audio commentary. So I clicked the plus sign, got this audio input capture. You could name it something if you want, but this is the only audio input capture we're going to have. Your list of devices here is probably going to look different than mine. If you're not sure, just guess, and then you'll see on the next screen whether that's working or not. I know that I'm going to want my USB headset, so I'll select that. And see, as I talk here, you see a visual representation of that. Now, I'm sort of talking right in the middle of my talking range. Sometimes I'm going to be louder, sometimes I'm going to be quieter. But as it is, that's a lot of red. It's like sort of at the very top of my more excited speaking. That red is not good. That what it would translate to if I started a recording of this right now would be audio that would clip, and so as people are listening, no matter what volume level they listen to, it'll sort of sound staticky. Something will be wrong with the recording. So I've got to lower this. You don't want this too low either. So you don't want your talking. Well, that's way too low. But even down here, this is no good because this what would result in recording a video with this setting would be somebody would tune into your video and then they would barely be able to hear you. The quality, the audio would be fine. It would just be so quiet, and they turn their audio all the way up. They might still not quite hear you. And then because their volume level is so high, if something else happens, like an email notification comes in, they might get startled. So basically, what you want to do with your talking is it's okay if there's a little bit of red. Every once in a while, a little bit of red, that's fine. But most of your talking, you just kind of want it in the sweet spot of the yellow. So that's the audio. We haven't started recording a video yet because there's nothing visually in the video. We need to set that up. So we're going to include two window captures. Normally I don't name the window captures, but since I don't want to get confused, I'll call this window capture dash browser. And let me select from this list of windows I've got open, I'm going to select the Google Chrome browser. And there we go. And you see that actually through this like diagonal slant, not the entirety of the web page is showing. In fact, you can see back here this show link has this right bracket that's not quite showing on screen. So I can take one of these corners and basically shrink it down. And so what's going on now, not that we've started recording a video yet, but if we were to do so, the web browser would show as just some fraction, looks like 60% of the video visually. Now, this might be what you want or might not be what you want, but let me just leave it at this size for a moment just so that I can demonstrate a couple other things real quick. One thing I should note is you do not want to minimize this window. Should you do that, it's actually going to disappear on screen. You can just, of course, undo the minimization. This is actually why, and I probably should have mentioned it, why I have my three windows here, the browser and then the text editor and then OBS sort of organized from upper right to lower left, because then it's actually, no matter which window's in front, I'll be able to select the window that I want. Okay. So cool, that's one of the windows I wanted to have. I would like to do a second window capture for that notepad, notepad text editor. And again, I don't have to name it all that fancy, but I just don't want to get confused. And let's see which window. Yeah, the notepad window. There we go. And I don't think I'm getting the entirety of this screen, but let me right click on this, transform, fit to screen. I'll do stretch to screen. That's not the stretch to screen, change the aspect ratio. Let me redo that. I'm going to right click, transform, fit to screen. Okay, so I've got actually everything except the heading of that notepad window, I think. Yeah, okay, great. There we go. Well, that's too big for on screen, so let me maybe shrink that and do something like this. And you'll notice even as it is right here that the notepad window is in front of the Wikipedia window. So if you don't want that, you can change the order by taking this notepad text editor. It's the thing that's listed at the top. So that's the thing that takes priority. I can click this source and then click this down arrow and move it so that now the browser window takes priority. Let me add one more thing though. The key thing we wanted to add all along was a webcam. So here we're going to need to do a video capture device. And you can name this webcam, just call it webcam or just leave it as it is. This is the only video capture device I'm going to use in this project, so I'm not worried about what to call it. You've got a list of devices that will probably look different than mine. I'd like to use my Logitech C270, so I'll do that. And ooh, here's the moment I have to fess to you that this was not Monoceros all along. Monoceros is taking a personal day, or is it a unicorn day? Whatever it is. Anyway, I'll just click OK here. And now the contents of this webcam are on screen. And now it's just a matter of, do we want the webcam in front? Right now it's on top of everything else. Maybe I want I want to push it back and deprioritize that and have so right now if there's any overlap, the browser takes precedence first, and then after that the video capture device, this thing, and then after that, if there's any overlap, the next device that visually takes precedence is the notepad text editor. So we've got a couple things to kind of arrange on screen here, and I think it'll be actually easier to visually turn off some of these window captures for a moment and say, let's just take the browser and let's say I'd like that to occupy, I don't know, let's say the entire screen, and then we'll turn back on the text editor. Oh, but then we're not going to see it because so I should move that in front. There we go. So I could take this browser. Sorry, no, this is not the browser. So yeah, the text editor is in front of the browser, and that works because it's taking up not the entire. Excuse me, what am I trying to say here? It's not taking up all of the visual space. And actually, just the reason you might have a browser up, we haven't even started recording the video we're going to, but we've got to get a couple things in order before doing so. You might say here, just for somebody who's going to be freaking out, they don't understand what's going on, we might be able to just mention here that when you visit this webpage, it might look different. I mean, as happens with Wikipedia, right? The people make edits. So actually, just in terms of its actual shape aspect ratio, it's kind of hard to see. So in effect, to try to make it bigger, I'm going to do something like that. Maybe even extend the size this way. I create sort of banner text that's going to, that might look good. Let's actually, how about we'll do this one extra. That and then so that's this text here, and then over here we can, whoops, that's not the window I wanted. Let's see, take this window, and you know what, it might just be easier for a moment to turn off the browser view. Let's just try that, and then take this and extend the size of it, and maybe that we'll just sort of making a guess, and then put the browser back, and that might look about right. Okay, and then the video capture device, let's put me back here. Oh, but this is behind again. That's not what we want. We're going to probably want this in front. And then there's probably a lot of, in your own creation of these videos, there's probably a lot of extra stuff that you don't want. And so what you can do is you can hold Alt on your keyboard as you drag in these. And this is basically creating a crop-like effect. Now, cool. That's one way to do it. For some folks, the Alt key doesn't work, so you do actually have another option. It's more clunky. I prefer the Alt thing if it works, but you can right-click, choose Transform, Edit Transform, and let me move this where you can kind of see what's going to happen. I can take the right edge. The right edge, currently 116 pixels is being chopped off, so I'd like to chop off more so that right over here on this right edge, to see more of that taken away, I'll just do that. And I'll just, you can be as exact as you want, I guess, on this screen, that's what it's good for. I'll just stop once I have something that's mostly square. I think that'll work for what portion of the webcam we want to show. So some of what the webcam can actually see, we've intentionally chopped out. And then in terms of size, this window is probably too big, so I'll take this corner. Now I'm not holding the Alt button. I'll just scale this, and then you can do what you want with it. You could put it up in this upper right corner. Depends on perhaps what you're presenting. In my case, this when you visit the web page, it might look different. It's probably getting in the way, so I'll just probably leave it kind of float, not on the very corner here, but maybe just somewhere like over there. I think now we have all the pieces in place to be making the recording, so I'll just create a short recording. I will just before I do it, I'll hit the start recording button. You can minimize the OBS window or not. I'm just going to choose not to. I'm just going to then, as part of the recording, as this sort of pretend this pretend training video I'm making, I'm going to talk through what Wikipedia is about, and then perhaps change the text on here, and then I'll stop the recording, and then maybe just provide another comment or two. So let's do that. We'll start the recording in 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to this video. What I have open here is this website called Wikipedia. You can access this from a web browser. So the web browser I happen to be using is called Chrome, and this is a website that people can edit all the time. So it's like an encyclopedia, but on the web. So let me just scroll through, and there's a table of contents and lots of different sections here. And I should just again comment that as you visit this page, things might look different. So, for instance, this is the view on June 25th, 2020. So there you have it. Hope you enjoy browsing the web. You can actually click on any of these blue things as links, and it'll take you to other parts of this thing called Wikipedia. Great. So I just clicked the button that said stop recording in OBS. So at this point, on your computer, if you followed a process that looks like this, you will have a video on your computer with that short training video that talked about what Wikipedia is. Now, with that video, you can run it through a video editing software if you need to make some major edits or minor edits or something like that. Or if you're already just happy with the video with you in the corner, then you can upload this to a place like YouTube or whatnot.